Every man has, when they were a kid, dreamed of having the superhero, movie star, anime physique. The capped shoulders, filled out chest, wide lats, tapered waist, and defined legs. But time and time again, 99% of men never achieve that physique. And honestly, you're not going to achieve that physique with the habits that you're doing. You have to change up the habits that you're doing. You got to change up your lifestyle. You got to change up your mindset. Your mindset has to be different in order for you to achieve the physique. In order to get to that 9 to 10% body fat, you have to change your mindset. You can't be listening to what everybody else say. You can't be in the break room at lunch and listening to the old head with the gut hanging over his belt talking about, yeah, man, that stuff not going to work. That ground beef, that ground turkey, that rice, that chicken, that broccoli is not going to work. You got to be happy with what you eat, and you got to, you just got to eat what you want. I eat ice cream every night. You can't listen to that stuff because that guy in his physique is not the physique that you want. This is what you got to do. When people talk to you, picture them talking to you as a physique. If somebody doesn't have the 9 to 10% body fat that you want, or they have no credible sources or reliability tied to them, because coaches, they don't have to be the leanest person in the room to know what they're talking about. They're coaches. They have the abundance of information to give that to people, and that's their job. Do they have credible sources to back that? Do they have real transformations on their page or just credible to them to big up what they're saying? If not, you step away. If so, you can listen to them. Don't listen to the average person working 60 hours a week, miserable, depressed, have no life. Not saying that everybody that works 60 hours a week is miserable and depressed, but I'm talking about the people who are not happy with themselves and all they do is work and they don't prioritize their health. I'm talking about those people. And sometimes it be your own family and friends. It be your own family and friends, the people who you think care and love for you the most. We're humans. You can't be mad at them for it. It is what it is. It is what it is. You might have somebody in your family, your aunt, uncle, cousin, dad, brother, mom. They might say, why are you eating that? You don't got to eat that. That looks nasty. But first of all, the food that you eat don't even have to be bad, bro. It really doesn't, man. Like, the food can taste really good. You don't need to eat the processed foods and the sugary foods and the high carb foods, high sodium foods for it to be good. You don't need to get the abundance of that dopamine from every bite that you take, from every single piece of food that you eat. Because if you're happy doing it, what's the problem with it? If you're achieving your goals, what's the problem with it? If you look at the food as a pathway to achieving your physique, achieving that 9% body fat, achieving that 10% body fat, if you look at that food as a pathway, I promise you it's going to taste good. Because it tastes good to me. Now, yes, are there foods that taste better? I love sushi. I love sushi. I can eat almost 1,000 calories in sushi. But will I? Will I do it every day? No, because I know that is not going to get me the physique that I want. I promise you, it feels so much better. It feels so much better to have the physique that you have, and on your refeed day, you eat the food that, not that you have craved, but the food that you love. Like, I'm talking about like the processed food that you love. Because you gotta love the ground beef and rice. You gotta love the chicken and pita bread. You gotta love the tomato sauce. I just figured out tomato sauce was low in calories, and I've been using it in my meals. But you gotta love the tomato sauce with the ground beef, the tomato sauce with the ground turkey, the tomato sauce with the egg whites. I just had 360 grams of egg whites and 4 ounces of chicken with tomato sauce and 40 calories of cheese. The total was like 420 calories or 370 calories for like 67 grams of protein. That protein to calorie ratio was insane, but the food tasted good. It tasted good to me. Throw some seasonings in there, some salt, pepper, some dash, some onion powder, garlic powder. Your meat's not going to be like dry. You got to learn how to cook. You're going to be doing this not for a couple of days, not for a couple of weeks, not for a couple of months, but for a couple of years. If you're 20 years old now, why would you not want to look your best in your 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s, 80s and 90s? Like why? It's not going to stop. So why would you want to only do good for a couple of days? Why would you only want to do good for a couple of weeks, months? No, do it for a couple of years. Not a couple, do it for years on end. Have your kids learn it. Your wife, your mom, your dad, your family learn it. Have them partake in the habits. Because it's not just the habits of, oh, I'm eating good food. Oh, I'm working out. Oh, I'm in the gym. No, it's habits, it's discipline, it's consistency, it's patience, learning what's good information, filtering through BS, learning how to do that you can apply to all other avenues of life. Back to what I'm talking about. You're gonna have nights where you craving ice cream. You're gonna be scrolling on your phone, you're gonna see some good food. You're gonna see some good food, bro. And you're gonna be like, oh, I remember how that tasted. Not even I remember how that tastes, but I know how that tastes. You're gonna start craving it. You're gonna have to, okay, let's relax. Let's, drink a whole bottle of water. Let's eat an apple. Let's put that down. Let's put that down. Let's track our calories. Let's put it into ChatGPT so it can track my calories. So I'm being accountable for my goals that I want to reach, and I want to get there and I want to stay there. Okay, for my next refeed day, how can I fit this? How can I fit the ice cream into my nutrition plan? How can I fit that into the foods I'm eating? Okay, let's stack the protein in the morning, stack the protein in the midday. That way, when it comes to nighttime, I can have the ice cream. Bro, I'm telling you, I promise you, almost every single week, sometimes it's every day, I'll have Halo Top ice cream or the protein ice cream. Oh my God, it's so good, bro. It's so good. But you know what's better? Waking up the next day, abs on the stomach, looking in the mirror, you shredded, you go to the gym, you can take your shirt off, people looking at you, you're getting compliments. You know your hard work is paying off, but you're doing it the correct way. You're not doing it the sloppy way. You're not doing it let's just eat ice cream at nighttime when I already am 1,000 calories over my maintenance. I'm talking about the normal people who do that, the normal people who eat above their caloric maintenance and wonder how they're getting weight. Oh, I put on so much weight. Your lifestyle became sedentary and you started over consuming. It's just that simple. That's all it is. A lot of people in high school, college athletes, high school athletes, they get out of their programs, they get out of their workout system that they had that were burning a lot of calories. They didn't have to eat all the right foods. Now you got to eat the right food, and your results are more dramatic because you're not at the same activity level. You can do it again. But you gotta think about it. If you were a high school athlete or a college athlete, what were you doing? You were burning a lot of calories. Okay, that played a huge, the biggest reason as to how you looked and were able to move the way that you were. You didn't have to eat very, very intentional because you were burning all the calories. But what were you doing? You were showing up to practice every day. You were showing up to the games. You was listening to the coach. What is that? Discipline, consistency, patience. What do you apply when you're trying to stay on a nutrition plan? I never call it diets because it's not something you're supposed to go off of. What are you trying to do when you stay on a nutrition plan? Discipline, consistency, patience. All of those qualities are transferable. So you can do the same thing. You just got to track what you eat. You just got to stay disciplined what you eat. You just got to be patient and know, okay, I'm not going to get the body that I want in the next 48 hours, but I'm going to get it in the next couple weeks. It's going to show up in the next couple weeks. It's going to be here in the next couple months. I'm going to have it in the next couple years. I'm going to maintain it in a decade. So you gotta be patient. You gotta say, yo, this is hard right now because I'm so used to a different lifestyle. But once I get accustomed to this lifestyle, it's over. And I promise you, everything's going to change.